Hey creators, welcome back to the club. The Black Creators Club is your go-to resource for all the Black movers and shakers in Hollywood, reactions to the latest pop culture tea, and of course, our own entertainment pursuits. I'm your host, Ava Chapman, and I'm here with my fabulous media maven, Akila friend girl. How are you?
Hi, new me, new year. Let's get it.
Okay, because I'm trying to be where the money resides, honey, and that's on what?
Oh, 2021, Mary had a little lamb. Okay. Hold on.
And that's on period. That is on period. Okay, you guys, we're going to be giving you our 2 cents on New Year's resolutions. Do they work? Why not? And why do people keep making them? Okay, then we're going to get into our second topic, which is generational wealth and how we can acquire it as young millennial men and women. We are going to take you to our Maven and Maven check-in. And then in our episode tonight with our BCC Spotlight, our Black Excellence News with Ava DuVernay. So let's get right into it. Akila, what is up with the New Year's resolutions? Like, have you been making them? Are you making one this year? Like, what's happening?
Yes. I love a good New Year's resolution. I take it more so like as a way for me to recenter and a way for me to figure out, like, okay, I want this new year to mean something. I'm not the type to be like, okay, this year about to be the best ever and say that every year, but
we see how well that went last time.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
But this year I feel kind of shell-shocked for that exact same reason. Usually like the New Year's Eve, I'm up like thinking of resolutions, like reflecting on the year, everything like that. I'm just kind of like, oh, thank God I made it. Thank God we made it through. And I'm just trying to take it quarter by quarter at this point. What about you? How do you feel about resolutions?
Girl, first of all, cheers. This is the first episode of 2021.
Yes. Woo!
Okay. We got to sip. You got to sip. It's bad luck if you don't sip. Okay.
That's no problem. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I always make these like resolutions every year, and then I never honestly keep them. I feel like the first 3 months or 4 months, you're like, yeah, this is great. We're going to work out every day. And it's like so not realistic. So this year, I think I'm going to do more like goal-oriented stuff. Like I think I've shared before that like I'm doing therapy and like just self-reflection. And I just ordered Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So I'm like getting into like my books and my education, and just trying to build on our generational wealth, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Just trying to make like smart decisions, right? I feel like I'm just trying to be the best version of myself. And I don't think like putting this pressure on myself to have like a New Year's, like this year, I'm going to be the perfect person. It's like, I think we have all these ideas in our head that like, it just doesn't work. But if you like set small goals, you will reach your goals. And like,
it can work. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I like having something, and I take New Year's resolutions as more like that. Like I set different goals, and now starting last year's the first year I did it, where I like would set it based on themes of your life. Because sometimes we set these goals and it's just, all encompassing. Like you said, I just want to work out all the time and be the best version of myself. But now I'm just like, last year, which is funny enough, is when I first finally set it up like, okay, family, what are the things I want to achieve there? Professional, personal, fitness, love, relationships, career, things and I just set it up in that case, travel, things like that. And then from there, put little goals, like you said, that I can work towards for the year, and even look back and say, okay, I did a lot of that, or I didn't do a lot of that, and giving yourself grace to say, hey, maybe next year, or maybe that wasn't supposed to happen the way you thought. So,
oh my God, Akila, I love that you said that, because first of all, I have to say 2020, I feel like all of us were like, this is going to be the best year. I said, I'm going to be making all the money in 2020.
Yes.
This is about to be the best year. And I think it was the best year in the most unfortunate way, like I feel like it gave people a lot of time to like use it as reflection time, or come into their bag, or figure out what it is and hone in on those skills. Writing things down, I think, is a great tool to really hold yourself accountable to those actions.
Totally.
Me and you had the most amazing first meeting agenda for the Black Creators Club, like in August. And in this meeting, we wrote down like our 6-month goals and our year-long goals, right? And I feel like we're 6 months in. Okay.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy to think
6
about.
months
Crazy to think
in,
about.
and
Hmm.
I feel like we have accomplished a lot of those things on the list. I think we obviously
A
need to
lot.
go back and like check off the things that we
Yeah,
have done because we have grown
absolutely.
since then. But
Yeah.
I think that we have accomplished, if not added on to what it is that we said we were going to do. But having those like list of goals to make sure we were on the same page, writing it down, like knowing that you have goals that you want to hit, helps you just refocus yourself. Because if they're in your
Just
mind,
yeah.
you're just like all over the place, floating everywhere. It's like you have no idea
No
where
idea.
to
I
go.
read it, like people love statistics or like saying these type of stuff, but I think it's true. Apparently, you have an idea in your head that's a certain percentage it'll come through. You write it down. I believe it was saying like it's 70, 60 or 70%. I don't know the exact percentage that it will come through true. You say it to somebody else and then that goes even higher. I think to around 90% that it would actually happen. And it's just more along the ideas of holding yourself accountable, taking the things you say you want to do and making it a reality by simply writing it down, goal setting, putting pen to paper. And then if you want to take it that step further and tell someone that you know will keep you accountable, or at least that you at least want to share your dreams in a sense with. And then, that gives you additional accountability. I think for me, the biggest thing was like another thing last year again, because like everyone else, I was like, okay, 2020, we're about to get in all the bags, honey, every single one of them. And so that was the first year that I also started doing like themes, like I don't know if you've ever had years, or you would have, okay, this year's theme is this, or this year's theme is that.
That's
Like,
interesting. I don't think I've broken it down like that in themes.
I love it. So like if you have a word for it, a word for the year, and like, from all your goals or what you want to do, and then just have that word be your mantra in a sense to say like this is the year I focus on this. And I feel like just especially thinking through the Black Creators Club, things we're doing, things I'm doing of that nature, like my word for 2021 is going to have to be consistency. Like that is the main thing. And it goes beyond career and these creative endeavors, but just like personally, like how consistent are you with your friends, like keeping up with your friends, your relationships, your family, consistent with chasing your bag or whatever it might be. And I feel like that's the key, after 2020 has given us so much focus in so much ways, as you said, to really dive in and dive deep into what you want to be and who you want to be and what you want to focus on. Now it's time to be consistent with it. Like,
I love it. So your word is consistency, and I would have to
yes.
say my word is going to be focus.
Oh, okay.
It's going to be focus because I think I'm great with coming up with the ideas. I always say that my dad is like we call him the idea man, right? So my dad and I have this same thing where we will dream up this amazing
Yes.
idea. Like I was gonna have this big birthday party bash, and it was gonna be like mini Kardashian style, and I had all these
Yes.
ideas, and then it's like, whoa, when you break it down, you're like the money, the this, like the little
Mm-hmm.
details I don't ever focus on. But it's like I have all these ideas, but I never know how to channel them into something that like makes sense. And
Yeah.
so I want to focus on my focus on my
I love it. I love
and
it.
the ideas that I have, really hone in on them and then grow them, scale them, monetize. That for
Yeah.
me is like where I'm at right now with that. Speaking of monetization, let's
Yeah.
talk about generational wealth because I feel like this is a theme and something that has been talked about so heavy in 2020. Um, but I feel like the top of the year, this is really the time to hone in on how you can
Yeah.
acquire generational wealth, right? I know in the Black community, we talk a lot about the fact that like we haven't been blessed with the skills to know what Tim, Tommy, and Frank have been blessed with their whole lives, right? Like maybe they have a father who's in entrepreneurship or works on Wall Street and is able to kind of trickle down some skills and thoughts of how.
Or even beyond that, there was no policies put in place that systematically stop you from being able to at least tap in, whether or not you had a father. Like sometimes it's the policies that you all had, that America had, that placed Black folks in a position of, subordination for decades. So there's that too.
Absolutely. I mean, it's
Hmm.
systematic racism on top of the fact
Yeah,
that like you're just not taught these skills, right? So it
totally.
goes hand in hand 100%. So thanks for that ad, Akila, because that was
Hmm.
like, let's not oversee that part. Okay.
Right.
And so, but I feel like as we all continue to talk more about it, we all continue to educate ourselves.
Totally.
And so I love that that has been a heavy theme in 2020. So, for example, Master P and Baron Davis are in talks of buying Reebok, the shoe company.
Yes.
I believe it is owned by, who is it owned by? Let me double check.
Let me tell you.
Hold on, let me double check. But while I'm checking, Akila, what do you think about this? Like, this is so exciting. We
I
have,
mean, yeah, kind of what you said, just the word excitement. Excitement, and it's just a new frontier. First, we know Master P is always, always about the Black dollar, always about ownership, not necessarily Black dollar, that too, but really just wanting to own a piece, many pieces of that pie. And I think anything that he does, he's operating from a place of how can I get in the game from a standpoint of ownership, not necessarily just being the spokesperson. And it shows with Reebok and Baron Davis. I mean, we were chatting about it beforehand. The fact that he's, an athlete by, trade, like he's an athlete, and he being able to say, like, I'm going to be more than this. Even though like that's already a great feat, but I'm going to be that much more than this in order to make sure that, hey, what I'm doing for myself, for my family, for my people around me, and setting the precedent that says ownership is cool and ownership is the way to go, especially with some of these known brands that would love to work with an athlete, would love to work with a rapper to sell my shoes. Like, no, let's get a part of it from behind the scenes, from the boardrooms as well. So it's incredible. It's incredible.
so Adidas currently owns Reebok. And
Adidas been dipping and dabbling with all the Black creators. You know what I mean? Kanye, Beyonce.
Listen, okay. I mean, but I love that we are finally going to buy it back, right? I know Master P said, and I quote, it was a quote that was shared with the Shade Room. It said, "A deal like this takes time, but this is history for our culture. It's time to buy back the brands that we built and be able to put money back into our communities," which is something that I feel like I continue to help advertise and say and do, right? Like I have my Buy Black Fridays that I continue to want to patronize our Black businesses. I think it's so important. I always say this, the Black dollar, girl, it be going long, honey. She moved fast, okay? And I like that if we're buying Reebok, it's like, okay, yeah, guess what? We are supporting Black businesses. We're supporting Black people. I know that like they're already rich, but it's like you can't put in your mind like they're already rich, so I'm not going to support them. It's like Nike's rich too, and guess who's running that company? And you continue to buy. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, so that's a good way to do it, because I think a lot of times, folks get to a place and then all of a sudden, as a society, we're like, okay, you did too much now. Like now it's time for you to fall, or now it's time for you to do what? And why? Why are we saying that against one person when an entire corporation, yes, they hire a lot of folks, but you don't know their best interest. At least this guy or this woman is directly is for you. So yeah, that's such a
I'm excited to see the kind of maybe they might change up their designs. I mean, not saying that they're gonna like switch up like the style, but like maybe we might have some different colors, color for the culture, a Juneteenth shoe.
Yes. Okay, Juneteenth shoe.
Okay.
Reebok call you. Okay, I love
that. Reebok, ring my line. I have all the ideas for you. We have a Black History Month where like every week we drop a new pair of tennis shoes or sneakers that represent like a part of Black history. There's just so many endless opportunities.
So much you can do.
Situations.
And now with them owning it, that's also probably tapping into Master P's IP and his songs and everything. Maybe you could put some of these commercials with his songs on playing in the background or things like that. Like that's probably the things that they're thinking of. Baron Davis now has direct access, hopefully still, to the NBA. Like folks probably would still want to wear Reebok shoes over Nikes now. Like who knows what kind of access this brings them to. And I'm excited. I didn't know Adidas owned this now. Adidas is coming for Nike's neck. Let me just say that. They've been lifelong rivals, but oh my God.
They said Travis Scott talking about checks over stripes. They were like, nah. Like, we're not having any of this at all.
We're not doing it.
Yeah, absolutely not. But you know what? This just brings forth like a long line of celebrities that continue to acquire and have their hands in different things, right? We have like Diddy with his Ciroc vodka, Beyonce with her Ivy Park, on top of the movies and the Netflix deal that she did, and I mean Black is King with Disney. So like there's so many different projects. Baron Davis also owns All Def Digital. We have Rihanna with her Fenty line, the Savage line, the beauty line, the clothing. Like she just never stops. Tyler Perry is a great example of literally taking all the money and like putting it into a huge studio. Like literally bigger than Warner Brothers at this point. Like I think he might have the biggest studio, the biggest production studio.
Probably second to Disney at least, probably land wise. Like I just know he is killed. Like Tyler Perry is Atlanta.
Literally now when you think of Atlanta, it's like Black Mecca, Tyler Perry. That's it. Like
that's it.
He came in and was like, you know what? Forget LA. Like y'all need to come to Atlanta because we have talent here too. Like don't sleep on us. He was like New York, Atlanta, LA. Like I'm putting
that's it.
Listen,
I love that he did. I
mean, Atlanta's always been there, but now it gives them a little bit more stake in the game.
Yeah, besides music, you know. I mean, yes, they always had great productions, but it was always they were probably flying out to LA. Now it's so much more happening in Atlanta, and I'm here for it.
Popping. Like, Akila, we might need to move to Atlanta. We could at least buy a house over there, girl.
I'm saying, take you to the East Coast. I might have to consider it.
Okay, we might be both working at Tyler Perry Studio. We get this popping, honey. Okay.
Love it.
Oprah is another example. And then Ava DuVernay, you know, she has her Array Productions. I mean, I'm sure we all know an entrepreneur in our lives or someone who has acquired, like works a 9-to-5, but also has a side hustle. Side hustles and passion projects, my love, have been so prevalent and so trendy, I would say, in 2020. Like
especially,
what would you say about that like entrepreneurial spirit that everyone has been hopping on the train?
I mean, my thing is some born out of necessity. COVID changed the game for a lot of folks, and they had to get scrappy, saying like, you know what, as I'm applying for this new position, trying to figure it out for my family, like I need to make something work for myself, like, in which I understand. Others, perhaps it's like, okay, I have all this extra time on my hands. Let me do that thing that I always wanted to do. Let me try something else new. Like I'm seeing all these other people doing it. I can do it too. Or not thinking you ever had the time. COVID gave you a lot of time. COVID gave you this quarantine, gave you a lot of time to go ahead and put things to work. And I think it's also just the general spirit of our generation. And obviously these are people that we're seeing. There's other folks doing it too, but especially our generation, I think just growing up in a space and born in a space and just seeing the space of just the idea of the hustle, like the idea that your life is not your 9-to-5. So we always kind of felt that way and wanted more of that work-life balance. We created more work for ourselves with these side hustles, but at the same time, at least it's a sense of ownership from the very beginning and some kind of stake in the game and a creative outlet for some, because some folks are really not doing it for the money. So other folks are doing it for the creative passions or just to put themselves out there in a different light. And I don't know, 2020 really took it up a notch because I feel like everyone and their mama had some sort of side hustle thing going on. And I feel like everyone was sleeping on an idea, and 2020 just made it like, girl, wake up, guy, wake up, it's time. And we're seeing the fruits of that.
Yeah, I love that. You know, I think that like our generation, our eyeballs are wide, they're wider, they're open wider. Okay.
Yeah.
I think our parent generation and the generation before that, the idea is like you go to school, you get a degree, you go to work, and then you work your 9-to-5. And then you retire at 65 or 55 or 75 or whatever. And then you kind of relax, and then you go on Social Security and you're just kind of like very average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was the ideal goal. I think right now not right now, but since then there's been so many different entrepreneurs who have done TED Talks, been talking about it, have been preaching about these types of things. And people have been listening, but then you think, oh, that's not for me, or, oh, I'm scared, or, oh, I don't have enough money to invest up front, or whatever, right? There's so many different programs that you could, you know, acquire money if that's what you need capital for. But I feel like our idea now is like, wait, we can actually, like, I think we're open. Our eyes are open to this systematic racism. Our eyes are open to everything that's been happening over the summer, but like for generations, I think that we are now like, why are we not going to take our idea and do something with it? We hear so many people say like, no idea is a bad idea. Everyone has $1 million idea. Act on it, do something, figure it out. And I think that we're doing that. I think that we're that generation that's not scared to fail or scared to take chances or risk. I think we're like high risk. I think we are the high risk generation.
High risk. I wonder how this is affecting generations, you know, below us that are like, they're taking all the risk. Are we seeing the rewards yet? Are they going to revert back to being like strictly 9-to-5ers or like complete dreamers? who knows?
Right.
Who
And I
knows?
think that like thinking about the future in that sense, it's kind of like, wow, who knows what the future is going to look like? So before in society, you have like the top dogs, the people who are taking the risks, that maybe have the trust funds, that have the money and the resources, right? And then you have everyone
Mhm.
else working underneath that. And that's been kind of the functioning society. Like you can't have everyone being an entrepreneur because you need those people that are either buying into your dream or buying into your idea or blindly spending their money. Like you need, I don't want to call them dummies, but you need the ones that are
You're like, that's not everyone else. But I guess that's why side hustle happens too, because then folks can be both. Like perhaps, yes, you're the
yes.
entrepreneur from, 5 to 9, but you also have your 9 to 5, which you're then using that money to spend on other folks' businesses too. Who knows? Who knows?
Right. But I'm
But it
saying
does
you
give you the
need to
option.
have employees. Like you need to have people
Yes,
underneath
yes,
you to help you
yes.
grow and scale. Like you can't have everyone being an entrepreneur, no one wanting to happen.
Yeah,
And it's like,
absolutely not.
you're the only person. So it's like you need those people that are like wanting to be those supporting roles. Like that's something that's necessary.
Even
Um,
as a partner, like not both of y'all can't be,
right.
in the clouds sometimes.
Right.
So
Exactly. So it's like that. So I feel like that's kind of what it is. Like you just that's kind of been the model. But
yeah,
now I
yeah,
just feel like the model's kind of being broken up a little bit. So I'm excited to see what that means for our future, our kids,
yeah.
of what that looks like. Because if everyone is going to be on this idea of generational wealth, passing down money, starting a trust fund, like when we have kids or get married, like there was a post that I saw on Instagram that was like, you need to start a trust fund for your kids. Like have your kids
Yeah.
also be trust fund babies. Like
Why
want
not?
to trust fund babies. You know what I'm saying? Understand
Hmm.
what that means, what that looks like. And we should have an interview with someone who like a trust fund lawyer.
I love
Just
it. I
just
love
to
it.
have that idea of what you can do to have yourself a trust fund baby
It'd be so
when
cool
you're
too
ready.
if someone is willing, because they have that negative connotation, and I know why, but at the same time, I'm like, if your parents could do it to you too, you totally would do it. So I feel like a trust fund baby. If we can have one of those on our show too, to say like, what was it like?
But the thing
How is it
is,
like now?
it's like it actually doesn't take that much. But I'm saying like if we have a lawyer that can
Yeah.
help you set up, like tell
Mm,
you tips and tools on how to set up a trust fund for
absolutely.
your future children, I think
Absolutely.
that could be so helpful because I think there's such a stereotype of like that's only for like rich white kids. And I
Yeah,
don't
and it
think that
doesn't have to be.
and it doesn't have to be. Like let's change the narrative on that if that's what we want to do. So I think just being
Especially for
educated.
creators, you're creating your own future through your art or through whatever you do. Like I'm sure these are the type of innovative things that you want to think about collectively when it comes to your finances. So totally, girl, we're gonna
Collectively.
put that on the list.
Yes, let's put that on the list. And okay,
Hmm.
let's take it away with the top three things that like we need to know or that we
Yeah.
could at least start on when it comes to generational wealth.
And these are things that for sure we're going to have follow-up conversations on, but we just wanted to introduce it. It's the new year. Let's introduce these topics that I'm sure you're Googling anyway. So, some things that you can definitely do to build generational wealth. One, think very, very, heavily about investments, diversifying your portfolio. What are things that you can do to make sure that your income is creating income and that you're doing other things to build your overall wealth, whether it be through stocks, indexes, probably real estate, whatever type of thing you're investing in, projects, whatever that might be, there should be some sort of return on that and a return that you can track and that builds over time. The other thing you all can do is just incorporate your business. We're talking about entrepreneurs. Again, not everyone has to do that. We don't want to get the rhetoric that everyone and their mom needs to be some sort of business owner, entrepreneur. No. But if you are, incorporate that business, like figure out the legal aspects of it from now while you're building from the ground up, not when you all of a sudden have a ton of success and a ton of money and everyone knows it. And
Right.
that's not the time. That is not the time. So find out about, anything dealing with incorporating your business and doing it the legal and the right way from the jump. And that last bit that we wanted to just bring on is just services. We talked about building the business. We talked about investing in yourself and investing in other folks' things. Think about your services. What are things that you can do? Folks are literally like, you don't have to, spin your wheels. Like, what are things that you do naturally that folks can also benefit from? That's probably the hardest thing. And I'm going to say from my personal experience too, like sometimes you're so great at something and you think everyone else is good at this too. You feel like, okay, this is not that deep. but it is like folks are literally would pay you to potentially do X or Y, Z thing. It doesn't all, it's sometimes it's thought leadership in that sense. Sometimes it's a physical product, which is easier to say, okay, I'm going to buy and sell this thing. But whatever service you have, like think about
Absolutely.
monetizing it. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, my friend and our sorority sister,
Yeah.
the Fab grad, we literally just had an hour conversation about like my ideas and how I could focus them. That's literally
Yes.
her service. Her
Amazing.
she literally is selling her organization and intelligence and her mind and her thoughts. She's literally selling that. So it's like
Love
it
it.
could be as small as that. It doesn't have to be like a huge, grandiose thing. Like it could be as much as like your thoughts, how you
Yes.
organize things, how you think about stuff. So I want to leave it at that. But I love all three of those points because those are all three things that I really want to dive deep into
We are for
this
sure.
year on the podcast because I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we're going to take a different bit of like a turn. We're going to change some things up, you guys. We're episode 22 right now, and it's kind of been like low-key an experiment. It's crazy.
Yes.
We've been trying things out since August and it's been an experiment. It's been really fun, but I think we want to turn a new leaf and do something different in the new year and see how well that responds. We're super excited about this
So excited. Yes.
like direction we're trying to go into. I hope you guys enjoy it too. But Akila, girl, in the meantime,
Yes.
in between
In the meantime, I mean, y'all are here. We call you loyalists for a reason. You know what I mean? Because you're here in this beta version, this original thing that we put out, and we really work hard to do this show. And we're so thankful for you guys for tuning in. The best way you can repay us is to share the show with a friend, or subscribe to our YouTube page, subscribe to our Apple Podcast or Spotify podcast, and leave a comment there. Everything is at the Black Creators Club. We'll read fan shout outs, etc. on the show. So if you have any questions, you have news items to share with us, you just want to comment on what you've been seeing and experiencing thus far, reach out to us on our Gmail at the Black Creators Club at gmail.com and follow us on our page at the Black Creators Club on all social mediums, mainly Instagram, and we'll totally reply to you there. Thanks, y'all.
Yes, we are so excited. We love you guys so much. But that brings us to our Maven to Maven check-in. Darling. First of all, I have to say that I've been drinking this entire time. I don't know about you. So I'm feeling super lit. Darling, I'm feeling super lit in the new year. So Akila, tell us what has been going on with you so far.
Girl, I can't believe it's 2021. Like, what are we even... when I read about like history books, the 1900s, I'm like, wow, that was a long. But now folks are this is like the beginning of this new. It's a lot to me.
Making
it's a
history.
lot to me.
That's
We're
all I have
making
to say.
history.
We're going to be in the history books eventually.
All of that. This weekend though was it was New Year's weekend, so it was a lot of fun. I actually went to New York to visit more of my family. I've been in the East Coast this entire time, but I drove, which was kind of like, at first I was like, oh, I gotta drive, but that's definitely was the best thing to do. I didn't want to take the train out there. So I drove, visited my brothers, hung out with some of my sorority sisters. Yeah, it was just a really refreshing time. Very low key still because, we're still in this whole pandemic going into 2021.
Girl.
But, it was just a refreshing time to just see the city again. The last time I saw was actually before the pandemic, like, this time last year. So it's like, I feel like it's going to be now my yearly trip back. One way or another, I've got to make my way back. I don't know why I keep going in the winter because summer in New York is where it's at, but but it was a lot of fun to at least do that. And now I'm ready to just lay low until I'm back in LA with you, boo. Yes. What about you? How was your weekend?
First of all, I have to say that if you're going to keep making a yearly trip to New York every New Year, I'm going to join.
Yes. Come through
next year, okay?
Yes,
2022, boo-boo.
Totally.
That could be a vibe. The Black Creators Club take New York, okay?
Yes.
Okay?
You better make it a movie. I love it.
Listen, I be coming up with the ideas. I told you, the idea man got me together.
Yes.
Okay. I have been buying new books, like I mentioned earlier, okay? Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I have this other book right next to me called Boundaries.
Okay.
And it says when to say yes, how to say no, to take control of your life. So
This
that's,
is literally your book. This is your
girl,
book. How did you find that?
two of my coworkers or ex-coworkers, I'll just call them
Mhm.
friends. Two of my two of my friends, they told me about the book. They both read it. One just got engaged. The other one is like
Yes.
looking to get engaged to her man. So, and I was
Mhm.
like, and I think we share a lot of like personal, and it's Christian and relationship section. This
I
book is in.
love.
So we share a lot of like personal stuff about ourselves and the things that we're going through. And these girls are just they're very grounded, and I love that.
Yes. Yes.
They're, and so they give me great advice. They're like my big
Love it.
sisters. And so I was like, you know what, I am going to read this book. Now, I was supposed to be reading it on the plane to Portland, Hunty, but let me just tell you, I think I got through a page and then I fell asleep. Okay. It wasn't because the book was boring, but your girl was tired. Okay.
Listen, that's me
Okay.
on every flight. I literally fall asleep.
I can't stay awake. I can't. And then on top of
People
that, I
do
was
it.
up for 12 hours. I don't know why. I just couldn't go to sleep. Like, it was just, girl, I think I was anxious because your
Yes.
girl was in Portland this weekend visiting a friend from college, and it was so much fun. It was my first time in Portland. And in fact,
Yes.
I made a whole friend on the plane. How
Love.
Keela was like, how do you
Love.
make a friend in the pandemic with the
That's
mask
what I'm
on
saying.
the plane?
Mask on, everything. Like, and she's like, "Yeah, I met this friend. We're
Girl,
going hiking."
right. I have no idea how I like meet people, but it just is, it's the vibe, it's an energy, honey. It's my
Love
aura.
it.
Okay.
Yes.
Attracting the people. We had a really great time. He invited us to go hiking with him on Saturday, and him and his friends, which was like crazy. And I know you're like random people in pandemic, but we were safe. Don't worry.
Hiking, right.
Yeah, like it was outdoors. We had a great time. It was so much fun. I actually super enjoyed hanging out with my friend. Like, it was just such a good time. Her place is so cute. It was just fun drinking and whatnot. So I
Love it.
had such a good New Year's. Yeah, I feel like that's it.
Yes.
That's it, and that's
It's
all.
a that's all it needs to be. We just getting started. We're doing a marathon this year, all right? No sprints. Whole marathon.
Okay. Okay, because the marathon must continue. Um,
Yes. Yes.
yes, yes. Let's get into our BCC spotlight and Black excellence news.
Black on black, black my thoughts so black, I'm black, my skin is so black, I'm rocking that black on black is black.
Ava DuVernay has a plan to help keep Hollywood as diverse as possible, y'all, which we love to hear. Her new production company, Array. So she launched this thing called Array Crew. It's launching in Q1 of 2021, so literally now. And it will be a great resource for those who are looking for Black crew members on their productions or anything like that. She was saying that, a lot of people reach out or even say probably online, like, I can't find a Black director. I can't find a Black crew member to help with my production. I want to sew into the Black business and sew into the Black creator, but where do I find them? It's hard to find them.
Yeah.
So she has compiled a list and a resource, kind of like a talent agency, I guess, of these Black creators that you can go and basically shop for on her through her production company. So I absolutely love that.
Love it.
She also has been recognized as Variety's 500 for one of the most influential business leaders in media. Akila, how do you feel about this? Like,
yes. I mean, it's a long time. She's influenced in media, period. And so to just know her production company, Array Now, I think was more of a nonprofit piece for that. Now Array Crew, like she's really slowly building her brand over time too. And so I'm just glad Variety recognizes her, notices it, something else she can add to the list of achievements that she's been able to accomplish.
And let's not sleep on the fact that she said that she picked up her first camera at the age of like 32.
Yeah, I remember that. And she didn't go to film school, right?
She didn't go to film school. And so it's like the idea, or 42, it was like one of the two numbers. It was
right.
Anyways,
I don't remember what age.
I feel like it was 32. And now so the fact, right. Actually, okay, go ahead and Google it, because why are we gonna be guessing when we need to be like, let's be accurate. While Akila is looking up her age and when she decided to pick up a camera, I would have to say, like, let's not sleep on that, because I think it's so important, because I feel like even myself, right? Thinking like, oh my God, I'm so far behind. We're not here yet. We're not doing X, Y, and Z. Like I always tease Akilah. I was like, girl, we're always trying to run before we could crawl. Like we're always trying to just jump the gun so much when it comes to our creation and the podcast and what we're doing and how to make money, because you see it so much. Like people are like, someone's making $100,000 this month.
Yeah. And they've been working at it, and it was 32.
So it was
still very extreme and still very, amazing feat. It just goes to show you, like, it doesn't matter how late you start. This is late considering in her industry, all that. If you have a will and you're ready to get it done, there's a chance.
Absolutely. And then it's like, you know what? Congratulations if you've already figured that out before the age of 32. Yes. You just have a leg up. You know what I'm saying? Imagine what you will be hopefully at 32 if you continue to pipe through,
Absolutely.
I'm so excited. I think that the Black Excellence News was amazing. Ava DuVernay, we give you a round of applause, and everything that you do. Amazing. Yes. Hope to see and work an interview with you soon, my darling.
Come on.
We're gonna manifest that. We're gonna manifest that.
Yes.
But until then, and until next time, you guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed the show tonight. You can follow me at Ebony Chapman on Instagram and on Twitter. You can also follow the Black Creators Club, you all, at the Black Creators Club on Instagram and on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can email us. Like everything is literally the same. Like that's why we make it so easy.
Everything is there. And you can follow my Instagram at Akilah Friend with 2 F's, my YouTube page at Akilah Friend. This has been an amazing show, guys. It's been an amazing first episode. We had to get back in the studio and get it going. Like, that's it.
Absolutely. I mean, I love and missed you guys. Missed you, Akilah, so much.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we were taking any time off over here.
Right.
No
days off. No days off.
I'm so excited, and we will see you guys next week. And we're so excited to pump through this year because we have so much amazing content, you guys, coming your way. So please don't sleep on us because we are coming for y'all next. Okay?
That part. Yeah.